G'day guys, it's your old pal Nick here from the Bulldog Fanatic YouTube channel, and in today's video, it is Wildcard time, baby. We are previewing the first ever AFL Wildcard game between the Western Bulldogs and the Collingwood Football Club at the MCG, 8v9 Friday night footy. Let's get into it. So both teams last week coming off very different games. Collingwood, they lost by 10 goals to Brisbane. I don't think they were trying super hard in that game. Like Nick Dacos, for example, was on the bench for 25 minutes of that last quarter. So I think Collingwood weren't trying super hard, and they conceded their highest ever score under Craig McRae, which was over 150 points. I don't think that will happen tomorrow night. So yeah, I think Collingwood weren't trying super hard, but they still lost by 10 goals in the end to Brisbane. It was a very, very high scoring game and felt like a dead rubber. As for the Bulldogs, we came off a very stirring win at the MCG against the D's by 21 points, and yeah, that win propelled us ahead of Collingwood. So, and of course the week before we drew against Carlton, so we're in some pretty good form against some teams around about where Collingwood are. So yeah, we're going into this wildcard game with some good form, which was not what I was expecting a few weeks ago after the loss against North Melbourne, but we are, and that makes me very, very excited. In terms of changes for both sides, for the Bulldogs, big Tim English comes back in, which is really, really good news, and Lachlan Carmichael, a young halfback flanker, is omitted, unfortunately, but someone had to make way for Tim English, and it just happens to be young Lachlan Carmichael. For Collingwood, Patrick Lipinski and Isaac Quaynor come back in, and Scott Pendlebury, who potentially may have played his last game for Collingwood last week, is out with a hamstring injury, and Liam Puncher, their young key defender, is omitted. So they are the changes for both sides. I could say both sides are very, very strong. Both sides are also missing notable players. Collingwood will not have Pendlebury or Maynard or Harry Perryman. Of course, we won't have Sam Darcy. So both teams are missing notable star players, but I think both sides have rolled out really strong lineups. So, and I think it'll be very, very close tomorrow night. And I really, truly have no idea who's going to win tomorrow. I really have no idea, because both sides on paper look very, very strong. Of course, the last time we played Collingwood was at Marvel Stadium early this year in round 12. We won by 4 points. We led for the overwhelming majority of the game, but Collingwood managed to keep themselves in it pretty much right until the final siren. Tense, high pressure game, and it was the game where Michael Sower took that unbelievable mark from that pack from the high ball kick from Darcy Cameron in our defensive 50 with a minute to go, which is one of my favorite moments of the year. The Michael Sower legacy game, I call it. So that is the last time we played each other, and I can imagine it being very, very close once again tomorrow night, just with high stakes, of course. I'm going to read out some key stats from the last time we played Collingwood, because I think it'd go a long way to winning. Last time we played, it was Tim English and Rory Lobb doing the double ruck against Darcy Cameron. So I'm going to read some stats from that. Last time English and Lobb were in tandem, and they outworked Cameron in the hitouts 39-24. We won centre clearances 19-10, and we won the inside 50 count 62-47. We have not won the inside 50 count a whole lot this year, so to win it by 15 is impressive. Although Collingwood were more efficient when they went inside 50, considering it was only 4 points to margin. So if we can replicate those stats against Collingwood, it'll go a long way to help us winning the territory battle. Although Collingwood are up there in the competition for absorbing inside 50s, so yeah, they're high up in the competition for absorbing a lot of inside 50s. So I reckon we will win the inside 50 count tomorrow, because that's just how Collingwood go, really. Of course, the main thing when it regards to Collingwood I'm absolutely terrified of is the best player in the competition, and the guy that's just won the AFL PA MVP and the AFL Coaches Association Award, and that is Nicholas Dacos. The last time he played against us in round 12, he had 37 disposals, but only 6 score involvements and 6 clearances. So even though he had a lot of the footy and he was still very good, he was not the best Collingwood player on the ground that night. But still, Nick Dacos absolutely terrifies the crap of me. We don't tag, so I do expect Nick to get a lot of the footy tomorrow night, but it's just we're going to make sure that it's not efficient and a lot of it's not leading to scores, because that will absolutely kill us. The person that killed us last time, and in my opinion was the best player on the ground that night, was Jordan De Goey. He had around 30 disposals, but he had, 19 score involvements. Like one of the highest score involvement counts by any individual I can remember this year. So, yeah, crazy. He was the guy that killed us, especially in the second half. It seemed like everything he touched led to a score for Collingwood in that game. So, yeah, I'm wary of him. We got to be really wary of him, because if Jordan De Goey gets going, then we could be in really big trouble. So, I don't think we can stop Nick from getting the ball. We just got to limit his effectiveness. And we also got to stop Jordan De Goey, when he gets the ball, because usually when he gets the ball, Jordan De Goey, a lot of the time it's going to lead to a score. So they're the two players in Collingwood's midfield I'm absolutely terrified of. Some key stats that will lead to long waits this game for both sides I'm going to read out here, and it's interesting to see some of these stats, particularly from the Bulldogs, that I'm really surprised about, and that is that since round 15, the Bulldogs have the number one defense in the competition. And this is according to Champion Data, by the way. That is actually crazy. I didn't expect that, but it does seem like in the back half of the year that Bevo has changed his game style, and that we are willing to flood back with as many numbers as possible to protect our defense. And I did see that, especially in the Freo game, but we didn't execute that well going forward. But against Carlton and against Melbourne, we seem to be still doing that, but we're actually managing to attack off half back with all those numbers flooding back in defence. I've noticed that our ball movement has been a lot better the last 2 weeks, probably because we've gotten so many numbers flooding back and we're not conceding as much from a scoring point of view, and we're just absorbing all the inside 50s. Unfortunately for a con, this kind of goes hand in hand with the numbers flooding back. We are 18th for general play pressure and bottom 6 for winning the ball in between the arcs, and we're also bottom 6 for winning the ball back in our forward half. So that kind of makes sense. We are willing just to flood numbers back into our defense. So we're not winning the ball a whole lot, in our forward 50 or in between the arcs. We really are winning the ball just back in our back line. So that kind of makes sense. And a fun fact, not a single point was conceded from the D's defense, So whenever the D's try to transfer the ball forward, they didn't score from their back line. So that's interesting. Collingwood, they're the number one defense in the competition, and they also concede a lot of inside 50s. They're bottom 6 for inside 50s conceded. So yeah, Collingwood absorb a lot, but they are the best defense in the competition. They are very bulletproof, and it's probably the biggest reason why they're in so many games, because their defense is allowing them to, because they're not the most attacking side in the competition. They're not great when it comes to scoring, similar to us, I guess. Collingwood are a high handball side, and post-bye, they are the 7th best team for generating a score from their back half. So Collingwood's ball movement has improved a lot since last time we played, and that's one thing we have to be wary of. So I could see Collingwood have very dangerous ball movement through the center of the ground, but can the Bulldogs absorb the entries? Can they defend well, with assuming we flood numbers back like we've been doing the last month or so? So yeah, they're just some of the key strategies and key statistics for why either side could win or lose tomorrow. So very, very fascinating to say the least. Given both teams' profiles, I reckon tomorrow will be low scoring. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like, first to 80 wins. I really think it could be a low scoring game, but we'll see what happens, I guess. It's been 2 years since we played our last final, and tomorrow's game is considered a final by the AFL, so yeah. So these are the guys that are listed from last week that are playing tomorrow night that will be playing in their first final, and that is Buku Kamas, Josh Dolan, Cooper Hines, Luke Kennedy, Michael Selwood, Riley Sanders, Sam Davison, and Artie Jones. Of course, some of those players are a lot older, like Buku Kamas and Artie Jones. They've been on the list for years now, but some of those guys I mentioned are like, second year players. So yeah, who haven't played in front of a crowd of the magnitude that's going to be tomorrow night, which is going to be 80 to 90,000 in my opinion. So it's going to be interesting to see how they stand up to the pressure of the crowd, as well as Collingwood, because Collingwood bring the heat. When Collingwood bring the heat, they really bring the heat in terms of pressure. Their pressure is probably the best in the competition. So it's going to be a big test for the young players tomorrow, see if they're willing, how they go on the big stage, and hopefully the lights aren't too bright for them. But yeah, that's quite a lot of players that will be playing like their first final tomorrow night. So I'm really interested to see how they handle it. Final thoughts for this game. Well, I'm just excited tomorrow night. It's a final. Yes, it's a wild card, and maybe not true finals, but it's still the postseason nonetheless. And I'm really excited to get to the MCG again for the second week in a row, in front of a monstrous crowd. I don't know what to expect. It's going to be tense throughout the game, in my opinion. I think it's going to be close, whichever result it goes. I just hope it goes our way because, I would like to play an elimination final and, want this season to extend. I don't want it to end tomorrow night. So, yeah, I'm really excited, really nervous, keen to see the two best players in the competition, Nick Dacos and the Bont, go up against each other. It's going to be absolute cinema. So, yeah, I'm keen, I'm ready, and I hope there's a lot of Doggies fans there, even though we're probably going to get outnumbered. No, we will definitely get outnumbered by the Collingwood Army, but hopefully the Doggies fans make as much noise as they can. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoy the video. Hopefully it's not the last preview I'm doing for the year, but it could be. So, hope you enjoy the vid, and as always, go you mighty Bulldogs. See you next time.